Hey, listen, you know what? Let's bring our next guest on before we go to break. And I like the Full House Backfield. This is our guy. He is the legend himself, the draft doctor, the Full House Backfield. You can find him on Instagram because he's an IG guy at Phil_Toshin. What's up? Bring out our boy, Phil Toshin. Phil, what's up, Papa? How are you?
What's up, guys? How you doing today?
What's going on, Phil?
It's doing well, man. Talking, sport. You're not big, very knowledgeable. I can't talk any sports, just football.
Hey, I always keep it 100, man. I know where my role is, and I shut my mouth on the other.
Your role, jabroni. Oh man,
I know, dude. I'm good at that one thing. Well, a couple things I'm good at, but that's where I stay in my lane. And then I get, if someone steps in my lane and cuts me off, and talks something that
some nonsense,
then those eyes. Remember Howie Long? They used to call it Howie time, whatever. Draft DDP time. I get fired up. I can't let it go, Kenneth. Exactly. It's time. I won't. I pounce. So, that's how it is, man. I feel as though I had a great conversation on the side with Kenneth. It's like I can't shut my mouth when I see a narrative and bullshit going down. So, I listen to everybody that has knowledge in regards to their specific sport or whatever. And I love it. But football to me is the greatest game in the world. And
agreed.
I give it all I got. That's all I can do is learn as much as I can and then bring it to the table each and every week to give the best, most honest, truth in regards to these Chicago Bears. That's really the goal.
Well, we're now is officially the dead time after the OTAs and training camp, and we're just, man, there's just so much going on. So we're fiending for Bear shit. We just,
it's coming, man. It's coming.
Oh,
it's
I know. But it doesn't. It's not fast enough, dude. Because you want Justin Fields. Justin Fields. Gets he gets seen at a mall. Like, oh my God, Justin Fields at the mall.
Like,
dude, let the kid do. Let
I don't. Yeah, let him breathe.
We're dying.
Let him breathe.
We're dying. Yeah. We're jonesing. We're like, come on, give me.
I love it. Because I'll tell you this. I haven't been locked on to the Sox in probably 4 or 5 days. I haven't been locked on because I've been NBA playoffs mode basically. So for me, with the Bears gone, it allows me now to refocus back on my Sox for the summertime before the Bears start kicking up. You know what I'm saying? So it actually plays in well for me because, think about how locked in we're going to have to be on the Bears this season. It's going to be crazy how Bears driven we're about to be, right? Just the littlest thing, would you hear this in practice? The littlest thing we're going to be going 8-ish over, basically. You know what I'm saying? So it's I can take a second, especially since I'm going to tell you this. They gave us what we wanted. So this past Thursday, right? I'm sitting there, right? I'm watching, dude. You know this, Shawn. It's like a pig in slop, as you would say. It's NBA draft lottery. Remember, I'm the person that said the Bulls was going to get their pick back, all right? Yep. They fit. I said they were. I was wrong. I'm watching the draft lottery, right? It's me, the old lady, and my daughter's down here in the basement, right? I'm sitting there. I think she kind of gets what's going on because I'm kind of like, they don't get 4. They don't have their pick, right? They made a trade or whatever. They sit there. They get to 8. Everything's going. You don't want to see your team fall further than where they were supposed to be, right? Like they did 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So they didn't fall further. They get to 8, where the Bulls were going to be at. They pull out Orlando. I start screaming, yes, motherfucker. Dude, my neighbors had to hear me because the basement window was slightly a gap, right? So I'm yes, right? Just dude, I'm gone, right? I'm gone, right? I sit down, I look at them like, wait, why didn't they pop them up into that top 4 part, right? Now, when we were growing up, just even past drafts, usually when they show the card, even if the team has traded their pick away, they will still show you the card of the team,
actual team.
that was supposed to be there. So it should have showed you the Bulls at
Bulls
8,
logo,
and they would tell you the Bulls don't have the pick. And then when they show you again the list of teams on the side, in parentheses, it would have traded to Orlando, right? That's how it usually goes. But on this one, for some reason, they showed the Orlando. So I'm thinking Orlando fell to 8. So,
yes.
So I'm pumped. I'm right. I'm like Justin Fields and Cade Cunningham. Oh Jesus, right? I'm gone, right? So then I sit there and I'm like, dude, wait. I rewind it back because when they showed Mark Eversley, I didn't even hear what they were talking about because I was on cloud 9. I rewinded back. I'm like, wait, damn, that was Orlando. They got then why did they present it like that? Because that was different from how we've ever seen it, right?
Yeah.
So it was one. So getting back to taking the time away from the Bears, dude, I was going to do you know how crazy it would have been, all right, to be in the top 4 of this year's draft and get Justin Fields and Tevin Jenkins in the Bears draft? Dude, I was on cloud 9 for about a minute, 2 minutes, all right, like on the highest of highs, basically, thinking that our team finally, because if they got a player in that top 4 that, you know, it can get them to where, Shawn, you really want them to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as, because you like this core, you could keep this core if you had added a kid, because they need a stud. They need another stud just to be. If he may not have to be a stud, but he got to be damn good to go with those two core players in Vooch and Zach LaVine. But dude, just to be away from football, that gave me a supreme high, and then it crashed. And then afterwards, I was like, at least I had fun. I was like, I had some fun.
Then you sat there and like, well, at least training camp's coming up.
Right.
Always goes back to football for me.
It is, and you know what? And one of the things I want to continue the conversation about this move, man. You know what? In from a business perspective, I get it completely. But from a meathead traditionalist, no, no. And I understand why the city wants it, because I mean that's tax dollars that they're losing. They're losing the parking from even though that it's owned by the park district. So the parking, they get that. Any ticket that's sold at Bear Games has a city tax on it. People who are in the city, they fly into the city and they eat the city tax. They drink city tax. They stay in hotels, city tax. That's why they're pissed at the hotels by Midway, because those are in Bedford Park and not in not Chicago. And I'm like, he keep these Sears in town. But my question is this: what about the tax from the marijuana? Aren't we selling a lot of marijuana? What happened to the tax from the sports betting? Aren't a lot of people betting? And this is why it bothers me so much with the city and the state, because that you can give the Bears what they want. You can sell them Soldier Field, or you can sell them a plot of land. Do something with it, because you have money coming in from marijuana sales, because the last I checked, people haven't stopped smoking marijuana in Chicago. And and people haven't stopped betting and in casinos, and there's money coming everywhere. So where the hell is all this money going?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know I ain't stopped.
Problem.
Hey, you and Claudio, we got to get him and Claudio together, Phil.
I'm dead.
I didn't get to see it. It was scrolling on my screen. I didn't see it. Was that Ivan smoking?
Yeah.
He jumped in and said, "No, I'm not stopping," and jumped back out. I feel you, Ivan. I feel you.
Hey, they made an announcement here in Connecticut, July 1st.
July 1st, yeah.
It's legalized. So, yeah, I mean, politics, just like in coaching, you can't let it enter football. So when it does, I mean, last week I quoted Kenneth on our show, too, and I'm all about making sure credit goes where credit is deserved. You know, the Chicago Bears messed up in regards to their ownership, not saying, hey, we'll stay at Soldier Field, but we're the Chicago Bears, known throughout the whole world. We are the, thing that everyone's calling to, not Soldier Field. So we need to own 90% of this field and give 10% to the city. But the reality is they didn't do that. So now they're in a bind to do what's best And the almighty dollar, as Shane would say, is going to lead that way. And if you're taking a franchise, some people say it's 3.7 billion, Forbes says it's 4.1 billion, and that's without owning the stadium. As an artist or a performer, these artists out there, they make their big time money touring.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they do it. The Chicago Bears obviously have their hands in the football, the television deal, social media deals, all this side stuff. But now, in regards to them signing on with that casino, who, oh, by the way, lends itself to minority ownership back to the Raceway, which they put in a bid for, all of the signs are pointing to them taking their 4.1 billion and doubling it, because now you own the stadium, the Chicago Bears stadium. Now there's no, T-Mobile Soldier Field. There's no naming rights. Now the Bears will be able to have naming rights. So it'll be Cadillac Field and wherever the frig it is over there. But the reality is they will have it. They'll have that income stream and cars. Our guy on the show at Bears Nerd, he said it best. The McCaskies are all having their hands out. They don't have what Arthur Blank has, a backup monetary plan. They all live. Yeah, they don't have Jerry Jones's oil fields. What they do have is this franchise, and that's it. So when the old lady passes on, I hate to be morbid like that, but we know in life,
of the situation.
Yeah, inevitable.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100. Now, guess what? All the family's hands come out. Where's my piece? And that becomes minority now. Minority ownerships all around. So the power then will switch. It's just known. It's fact. So now, what do these billionaires do? They know money. They make money. That's what they do. Now would you double your money, or would you say there, hey, we want to be historic. Let's be here, even though the mayor's calling us out, and it's becoming a soap opera. Let's just stay at Soldier Field. No, they're going to go do what's best for the Chicago Bears, and the lease ain't going to hold them. Nothing's going to hold them. In fact, it's honestly, you go to other fields around the league, excluding Lambeau, because that's so hyped. If you've never been there, just fucking bleachers. It's not as great as you would say. Like when you go into Dallas Cowboy Stadium, then you're like blown away. Then you're there. Even Giant Stadium here in New Jersey. It's not even in New York. So all those people worrying about the Bears changing their name, you're in Illinois at least. The New York Giants play in Jersey. The New York Jets play in Jersey. All these things are all about money, the almighty dollar. The Chicago Bears, it's going to happen. No doubt about it. No doubt.
That's why I think that they're gonna sell after they get their stadium. Okay, because once you get the stadium, your value jumps about $1.5 to $2 billion. And if this is going to happen and they want to get out of it, okay, well, let's get out of it, but let's add an extra $2 billion. Because let's be real, it's going to take $2 to $4 billion to build a stadium. That's a new stadium. Mm-hmm. It's going to add that value to it. So now, if we're gonna divvy up the money that we made, we might as well divvy up an extra $2 to $4 billion because of the value of that stadium, because of all the things that stadium is now, it's used 24/7. 365.
Exactly.
It's used year round. You have the retractable roof. You have the whole nine. Everything's from we can get more NCAA stuff. You get WrestleManias. You get concerts. You get a whole bunch of different things. And if you wanted another team, there's another possibility. Another team in Chicago say, hey, you know what? When we're not home, you're here, and they can make that assess. Does anyone do that? Oh yeah, the Jets and the Giants do the same thing. Holy cow! So they make one stadium work as well. So it definitely and they collect rent from that too. So you know what, they get money. You know, whoever owns the Meadowlands.
It's the best. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the entire world. It is. So if you can then turn around and hold a Super Bowl there, there's no doubt in my mind.
What city are you talking about being beautiful? Chicago or Arlington Heights? One thing I want to say,
Chicago,
because this is the thing. As I've always said, I would have never been in this situation. I would have owned Soldier Field, at least majority of it, or I would have left. All right. But let me say, this is the thing that kind of annoys me. This is not Manhattan. All right, because there's a reason why the Jets and the Giants don't play in New York, because it costs too much to get that type of land in New York City. You know what I'm saying? And you're probably not going to put them in the Bronx or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
They had it in Long Island. They had the Shea Stadium, which now is what? What is it called?
Citibank Field.
Field. Yeah, Citi Field. Thank you. They had that, Kenneth. They don't want it. It's all about, you know, land, like you said, and infrastructure. Yeah. They fucking rebuilt Giant Stadium. Meadowlands is right across the way. It's still there. You can see it. They built a brand new stadium right across, from the old stadium. Yeah,
there's too many places in Chicago. But listen, Phil, there's too many places in Chicago that you can build this stadium. Now, again, that may be an issue with you having to deal with the city. You know what I'm saying? But there's this could benefit different places in this city by the amount of revenue that you will be bringing in different areas, and you would gentrify. So even if crime was initially your fear is crime, it'll get gentrified. We know it'll get gentrified, right? You can put this at the U.S. Steel plant, and they would still be on the lake. Right there, they would still be. You could still have that little camera coming in off the lake. It's different place. You could listen. You could put this MF in I'll sip and I show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too many places that where you're telling me we have to carry our asses to Arlington Heights for this situation to go down. It's just that's to me. It's too many to let this revenue stream.
Here's the thing.
Good. Mm-hmm.
I agree, but if the mayor and the city are fighting you, for God's sake, you can't even. Me and you are. I completely agree with you, but we can't be in those rooms where maybe the Bears were saying, "I need owning the stadium." No, it could have been like a tug of war for years, obviously. But
definitely.
The reality is, it's real estate, as you know, it's the one thing that carries its weight in gold, no matter what. It continues to rise. People were buying land in Brooklyn, and it was a shithole. Now, those same buildings that they bought for like pennies on the dollar are worth millions because they rebuilt it. Real estate has always been that. I mean, you guys
happened in Wrigleyville.
Exactly.
Those buildings, you can get those in the 60s and 70s, boy. You can get those buildings cheap.
And Wrigleyville was
that was
just about to say, Ivan, Wrigleyville. And if you walked around Wrigley Field back in the 70s, that was not a nice neighborhood. Not a nice neighborhood at all. Gangs, strippers, drugs.
Don't wander up north further from that.
That happens all the time. The other thing is proximity. You know, when you're in the city, the ability to get in and out of there is very difficult, you know, for a lot of people that come from, you know, wherever they're coming from. When I've gone to Soldier Field, I was there on the 100th night, Kenneth, and I'm not a guy that's scared at all or anything like that, but getting out of there that night against the Packers and that terrible loss, that's one thing, but all of a sudden leaving that stadium, it was so dysfunctional. It was the first night that they were never accepting. Now they won't accept, you know, paper tickets anymore. So everything went computerized. So getting in there was confusing and everything like that. But getting out of there became a sardine tank, and people were drunk as shit. Fights are going down. There's no cops anywhere. It was crazy down there. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the middle of this. It was me and Claudio. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even know where I'm going now. I'm going left. I climbed a fence got out of this sardine tank, and everybody started following me, and they pushed down the fence. It was crazy, but
So
the
you got the
reality
fence
is,
pushed down, basically, is what took place.
I guess so. Don't put it on my tab.
You coming to our city disrespecting and doing stuff like that?
I was trying to get the hell out of that sardine tank. I was like, holy shit.
You know how much that costs with union labor to put that fence up? Hey, listen.
But tailgating, all of that stuff is going to be what they're going to be selling, as well as one other thing, Shawn. I'm sorry. Like in New England, it's the experience, because I believe the Chicago Bears will have a casino, they'll have restaurants, they'll have a mall, they'll have a whole fan experience that people will be able to go to, and it's 20 minutes from the airport, and all roads lead there. And so when you have that kind of land and have that kind of placement, especially in this day and age, convenience for families, safety, all of that stuff, I believe that's going to be their sell. But it's so far away, you could be right, Kenneth. They could take a 180 and go to another place that all of a sudden they come in and say, wait a second, we got this prime land here. But I really believe it's going down because they want Super Bowls.
I'm with you. Well, yeah. Super Bowl, they're not getting. You get one probably every 30 years.
No, they're going to get. They're going to get more than one.
No,
they're going to get more than one. This ain't Minnesota.
I was just about, and that's my thing, Phil. Is like the reason New York, because if New York had a dome stadium, okay, they would have had more than one. Because remember,
agree.
The day after the Super Bowl in New York,
coming up here into this cold.
I'm telling you, they're going to.
Chicago.
Dude, how often are you saying they would get a Super Bowl? You two? How often?
Every 6 years. Every 6 years.
Hell to the no.
No,
I'm telling you.
I'd say
hell to the no. Boy, that. Well, hold on. You said the first they started saying you could smoke in Connecticut, because you gotta pass that over here.
No, I say every 10 to 15 years, because you got to go to
Arizona. If you say 15, I would give you a little maybe, but they're not going to be coming to this cold ass city.
Chicago is it.
Man, please.
Chicago's different, bro.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I know we got to run. We got to take a quick break. And the other side of the break, man.
Love you, man.
The
love you back, bro.
Back set in full effect. Hey, Ken, great stuff, Papa. Have a good weekend, and maybe I'll see you in the Sox game.
Perhaps, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, now, guys, we got to take a quick break. And the other side of the break, the two-back set begins. Coach Phil. Coach, man, when was the last time someone called you Coach?
Coach, they call me that in this area. That I hear it all the time. My wife actually pulled out my old coaching hoodie the other day. She was rocking it. It was nice to hear. And then when I coach, I'm coaching the 5 to 7 year olds in the town. Did I tell you that story? They just handed me the whistle. They're like, "You're taking over." So now I'm coaching 45 to 7 year olds playing flag football. So that's probably the toughest job of coaching you'll ever encounter.
Oh, I can't even imagine, dude. But I gotta go pee.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you mean? What's the center exchange? So you have to start all over.
What do you mean hit him in the flat? What do you mean hit him in the flat? I have to read a who? I have to read a curl. What's a curl route?
I got 3 plays in the game. Matt Nagy would lose his mind. They can't even remember the 3 plays. I'm teaching them every practice. I'm going to shoot some video. Our last practice is Monday. Practice/game is Monday. So I told my wife, I go, you got to shoot some video of this because it's hysterical. These kids are so
does your menu look like this? It's like this big?
I actually can keep it up here.
Keep it 100. Keep it at 100 at the bottom. Hey, let's talk more on the other side of the break, man. We'll be back with a two-back set. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on the Sports Zone Chicago. Zach Davies and 3 relievers combined on a no-hitter last night, leading the Cubs past the Dodgers 4-0. Davies went 6 innings. He struck out 4 and walked 5 along the way. Craig Kimbrell able to close things down in the 9th. He walked 1 but struck out 3. The win pulls the Cubs even with Milwaukee. Both teams atop the NL Central at 42 and 33. The series continues tonight. 5-8 right-hander Jake Arrieta starts for Chicago. The Dodgers send righty Tony Gonsolin to the hill. Day off for the White Sox on Thursday. They open a series tonight at home against Seattle. 6-2 lefty Carlos Rodon starts against 4-3 lefty Yusei Kikuchi. The Sox have dropped 6 of 10, but they're still atop the American League Central, 2 games better than second place Cleveland. With 44 wins, the Sox are tied for the second most victories in the American League. Download the free Score app. Lightning fast updates so you never miss a thing. It's why the Score app is one of North America's most popular sports apps. I'm Chuck Sanders. That's the Sports Flash on the Sports Zone Chicago.
Okay, fine, I'll fess up. All the new summer stuff I got, it's on sale at Kohl's. And the deals are so good. Like our Sonoma Goods for Life patio furniture, it was 30% off. Got 30% off backyard games, too. And even picked up grilling tools for 20% off. Best part? I saved an extra 20% and got it in an hour with free store pickup. So now we're all set for summer, and I'm pretty sure we've got a cookout planned every weekend. Select styles, 20% offer ends June 27th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español?
Hablo.
It's hablo?
Yes.
It's hablo.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real-life situations.
The app is so easy to use and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Shit goes downhill. You would think guys would fucking pick up their game, and
they're not going to have a $39 million cap hit for a guy who's not there. Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Uh-oh.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Joseph checking in. He came on this morning in our Top of the Morning segment. He's still checking us out. He said, as Jason and I predicted, once the Bears leave, there will be a second team in Chicago.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think because I just don't think the fans in Chicago will get behind that, but the NFL and Roger Goodell, they're not gonna. There's no plans to have any other team. So, is another team gonna move there? You know what I'm saying? Like, this has happened a long time. Teams and cities are fighting for their teams. I think people have to get to the understanding, like, a lot of the, like San Francisco, they don't play in San Francisco. Dallas doesn't play in Dallas.
Arlington.
Exactly. We can go down all of these roads. Arlington Heights is in Illinois, and that will suffice. It'll still be called the Chicago Bears. I don't see that happening in the city of. You saw it with the Cardinals back then. How many people got behind the Cardinals? They just left. Everyone was like, "Okay, goodbye." It's like, it's the Chicago Bears. They're the number one thing in that whole city. even if the White Sox or somebody is in the World Series, the ratings are going to be for the Bears. That's just, and the McCaskies has lived off that. That's why we've had to hold their feet to the fire, if you will, in getting this right. You're the charter franchise. You got to get it right. And all of us are worried about 3-play Nagy. That's George put up there.
Yeah.
Curls,
tight end sweep, and over post.
He's right, though. He's not wrong.
One of the things that I'm concerned about would be the city, okay, because we're very territorial, and with this mayor,
I see that.
It's they talked about invoking a right that that the Bears wouldn't be able to use a name, blah 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 blah. I'm worried about that. I just don't want to. And truth be told, Phil, I don't want to go to Arlington Heights. I really don't. And the business side of my brain says, yeah, it's perfect, makes perfect sense. You got land, you got everything, you got an extra stream of revenue with parking. I'm sure they cut you a break. But the meathead fan in me and the little 10-year-old kid, wants them to stay on the lakefront, wants them to stay, here, so we can see it. It's because it's literally centrally located. It's downtown, and you can come from the north side, you can come from the south side, and I understand that people travel all over, but it's just for me, not so much it's the tradition. Well, I guess it is a tradition, but having the Bears on the lakefront is all I've ever known and grown up with, and
right.
It would suck to, it would suck. No, there's a thing that they can invoke. I was reading it the other day that the city can invoke something, Bellissimo, where they can
never going to win that. They cannot win that, invoking those rights over the name.
Yeah, they can.
Can't.
Yeah.
The city won't be able to win that.
I'm saying this is something they can go down this road. Now, whether they win it or not, I don't know, but they can go down this road
they can jam shit up. And that's what politicians do, and that's unfortunate. That's why all of these freaking we all joke about. Just to keep it 100. I'm in my politics. I'm not on any side because they're all a bunch of liars and they're all about self. So the reality is, you have to do what's right, and what is right is either the city says we need you here on the lakefront. Because let me just say this as an outsider, I said it the last time, the experience of what Shawn is talking about, walking through the park, walking by, I call it Love and Marriage Fountain, but it's Buckingham Fountain. Walking there and walking to the game, and that feel right there on the lake is gorgeous. It's unbelievable. Like, I tell people that have never been to Soldier Field, or seen a Bears game for that matter, it's like nothing you can even imagine. And I've been to a lot of stadiums. I haven't been to all of them, but Lambeau versus Soldier Field, it's not even close. It's only close to Chris Collinsworth and these types that hype up historically. But sitting in a fucking cold bleacher with some freaking cheesy and morons is not a pretty sight in a town. It's ridiculous. Chicago, I mean, 1 minute you're in a city, the next minute you're walking through a park and there's a football stadium. It's unbelievable how gorgeous it is on the front, and there's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, it's about holding up those trophies and winning football games. So I'm cool if the city turns around and says, we want to keep you here. This is what we're going to do. Like, get behind the goddamn team and the family and help that situation. Stop playing this politics and who's right, who's wrong. The reality is they have created your story. The Chicago Bears have done it since they're the reason there is an NFL. So I just think it's so interesting to see how this is going to play out, but I know at the end of the day, the almighty dollar is going to win. Now, another team, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if there's another team brought into the city of Chicago, but
Stranger things have happened.
I think there was 1% chance of that happening, to be perfectly. Because remember when the Jags and the Panthers came in, they had those drafts. What do they call them, Shawn?
Supplemental?
No, not supplemental. Oh man, and then expansion draft, and then you had to put 10 guys up from your roster that you selected the 10, and they could pick, and they had a draft. And they're plucking, they pluck players. I just can't see that happening again. Vegas just built, so the Raiders, who move like every 3 years, they ain't going nowhere. So who's gonna move? Jacksonville? Aren't they moving to London by 2025? So
we'll get Brad Listen. We'll have some credentials.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't see the NFL expanding. But again, they went to 17 games, so I believe there's a 1% chance. I'll never say never in the NFL, but I just don't see it.
The thing about the Bears and maybe, and I don't know if they're looking at it in the long term, the big picture, or the city, excuse me, is that they're still going to get money from the Bears. Okay, if you give them Soldier Field and they're allowed to knock it down and rebuild, okay, so and they can have the parking, like there's give them the lots, give them that land, or I don't give it to them, sell them the land. Okay, so you have the 31st Street lot, which is a little south. You have the south lot, in the whole, or you build a structure underneath it or right around the stadium, whatever you want. There's so many different things you can do. Okay, you're still getting money from the tickets. There's always a city tax on the tickets. You're still getting money from the parking because there's always a city tax on parking. You're still getting money. Now you're going to be getting the hotel tax on the hotel tax on the people who fly in to Chicago to stay downtown to watch Bear games. You're getting the city tax on the people who fly in to Chicago who eat downtown to before and after while they're here for the Bear games. There's so many different ways that you can still make money. And as I mentioned earlier when you first came on. Where's the money for the marijuana sales going? All right. Every time I pass the dispensary, there's a freaking line, 15 people deep outside, and not to mention what's inside. So where's that money going? Where's the taxes on the sports gambling going? Where's all that going? Okay, this is and Joseph put it best. He just put Chicago politics are filthy, because if you look at what happened, right. If you look at what happened in Colorado, within 5 years. Because I had a former Dallas Cowboy who was trying for the legalization of marijuana a couple years ago, and so I was doing some research. In 5 years, the state of Colorado, because Colorado was the first to legalize weed, Colorado was operating at a $1 billion surplus.
Exactly. My buddy lived in Colorado. He told me, Shawn, they sent us home $600 during tax season because they had a surplus. $600 per family. They're not crooked, as Joseph is saying. I agree with him. And I don't even live in the city of Chicago or Illinois. And it is a known that city is as crooked as they come. There are all these backdoor politics and channels and payoffs. And again, that's like every city across the land, probably. I mean, that's just being honest. But the Chicago Bears just have something special, and it's unfortunate because you're the second city, and you have the smallest, or one of the 3 smallest seating capacities.
The smallest.
Oh, it's the smallest now? So now you're the smallest. There's the point. There's the point that the Chicago Bears can make towards the city. And Shawn, if this, and I would say it's 80% not a negotiating tactic, but if it is that 20%, then the city of Chicago needs to do everything in their power to make the Chicago Bears stay there. I mean, it's simple math, just like you said. You're getting all this, but the Bears as an organization want to grow. You want to hold Super Bowls there. You're going to have to put a retractable roof. You effed up with the original,
Yeah, tell me about it. Spaceship.
The spaceship, all that. I don't really mind it at all, as everybody else, makes fun of it. I think architecturally, it's pretty impressive, but to each his own. Some people don't like Big Daddy Kane. I think he's one of the best rappers all time. Exactly. So it always goes back to how you view things. For me, the capacity, the location is unbelievable, but then there's parking stuff. So the city would have to give a little bit to get some. And unfortunately, if you're running a crooked organization, you're not giving anything. The last time a mob boss gave away anything
was a beatdown.
Exactly. That's the only thing they gave. They want their money.
They give you a visit to the bottom of the river.
An offer you can't refuse. Right? That's the city of Chicago.
I think in thinking about it, Phil, I'm just as we're talking, if you give them, if you not give them, I keep saying give. If you sell them McCormick Place, okay, that's tons of land. You sell them the South Lot, which would then be the North Lot if you built on old McCormick Place, and you sold Soldier Field. Now you've given them, and then still sold them the 31st Street lot.
Yeah,
now you have parking. Now you have a lot of parking. Okay, a lot of parking for your stadium. That's a whole shitload of parking. And again, and not in when I talk about them being nearsighted or closed-minded, the more events you have, the more taxes you're gonna get off of every single ticket.
Your point here is something that nobody talks about. The city could sell it to the team and make their money. The thing is, they want the never-ending gobstopper that doesn't exist. They want that. I want to continue to make money off of this and hold you back. You're holding you back. You messed up. Yes, Ted Phillips messed up. I know some truth to this. Why is Ted Phillips still there? Is because he originally got that deal done to restructure Soldier Field. I was in the I was in the original Soldier Field. That was sight lines awful. It wasn't even built for a football stadium. The pillars. The pillars were the best thing about the stadium, to be honest. Everything else was, what it was. So they had to do it. It just didn't think this through appropriately, recognizing that, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Washington Redskins, they've been around for years, decades. They sell out. The Chicago Bears fans are so loyal. We had Rick Meyer and Cade McNown. You're selling out. You're selling out. So imagine when you actually have a team that's competitive each and every Sunday, you're always going to sell out. So you got to do something. And Shawn, this could be an in-house process of saying, let's put all the pressure back on the city and make it look like we're going to move there. Because once the casino gets involved, that's a never-ending gobstopper of money right there.
Never-ending.
That's the real deal. So now you got sports betting, marijuana, all of this money going to this government that's crooked. We don't know where it's going. You don't know where it's going. It certainly ain't going into the park district. So
it ain't going to the damn streets and shit. I keep hitting
it
these
ain't
damn
going
potholes.
to the streets for potholes.
Potholes anymore, bro. It's just like there's these like bumps and then there's like these grooves, like these dips.
Oh my God!
It's an all-terrain streets is what we're going.
I hit
a
yeah, I hit a pothole yesterday. That
man,
sends shivers up my spine. You know those ones where
you yell. Do you yell at the?
I'm like, oh,
like, ah!
Yes, and it goes right up your spine. Oh my God!
Oh my God! In Hartford, they're everywhere. I'm like, how is this even possible? It seems like a mini lake in the road. It's like, boom! You're like, Jesus. But yeah,
I'm waiting for my tire to fall off sometimes. Like, oh no, please don't fall off, please don't fall off, please don't, because I feel like, oh, that was a good one. But no, that's crazy. But back to this, you know, I'm anxious to see how it plays out. You know, does the mayor back down? Does she, or not even back down? Do you, if you had some good people, good negotiators, okay, will change approaches. And the way that they're approaching now, the city and the mayor, they're like, we're the city of Chicago, and you do what we say, basically. And the McCaskies are like, we don't need you. We can move. We have a place already. We're putting in a bid.
Exactly.
And the thing is, sometimes you have to be, you got to play nice.
Leverage, Sean.
Yeah,
you got leverage.
You have to play nice sometimes. All right, it's to get what you want. Sometimes you have to do things you don't really want to do, but in the end, especially in this case, all parties involved, it's just so much better for the city. And one of the guys, Michael Halatek, who hosts the show with Ivan on Wednesday, talked about where you could build it, and it's not too far in Burnham Harbor, which is because I don't know if you realize this, but Soldier Field's on landfill. That's all landfill.
I didn't know.
So when the Chicago fire happened, they put a lot of the burning, they carried a lot of the debris over to that part of the city right by the lake. It's landfill. So you said you could close it off, but again, I'm saying just use the McCormick Place thing, and have a huge glass wall or window on the north end now, and in the stadium you walk by the window and you have the freaking most beautiful skyline right there. It's there. It's there. But you know what? Joseph, you're absolutely correct. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Everybody want. And the thing that they don't realize, like, you're not going to be a politician forever. Like, the city's going to spit you up and chew you out, and then the next person's going to do it. It's like a job. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have your job listing before your obituary's up.
Yeah, the Bears are eternal. The Bears are the Chicago Bears. They've been around since 1920. Well, technically, they're the Decatur Staley. But you understand where I'm going here. So the mayor is going to be voted in or voted out. The decision needs to be made that our selfishness or our whatever ignorance towards the power of the franchise, because it just isn't a Chicago thing. There's fans of this team all around the world, and the NFL is the most powerful professional organization in the U.S. right now. It just as I said this past show, I was like, well, the NFL's the number one show every week when it comes to ratings. And then Cars corrected me. He's like, no, it's the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 show every. And I go, exactly. And I go, that power, to Joseph's point, is absolute. So they're going to make those decisions, and no mayor is going to step in the past. So you, as the mayor, have to let go of your pride and understand that this is something that they want to do to benefit their organization and the family, who that's all they have. That's their moneymaker, is the Bears. So now, as it gets passed down, it's going to be sold. What's this guy's name? Ryan? Something Ryan?
Pat Ryan.
But I didn't know who is. I couldn't hear him.
Yeah, Pat Ryan, but also don't forget
Pat Ryan. But he'll be the majority owner when she's going, based on the setup of their agreed arrangement. So he's in his 80s himself. So the casino that he's a part of, that's going to come into play. So they're going to make those decisions. It's stupid politics, in my opinion. You go to them and say, what can we do to make this right? What can we do to keep you here? If it's what Shawn Sierra sees through the golden, binoculars, McCormick Place, if you sell Soldier Field back to the Bears, you've just gained for your city billions of dollars based on a sale. That goes back to your city. The Chicago Bears, in my opinion, have done enough for the city to own that Soldier Field, at least 95% of it or whatever it is. You keep it there, you rebuild, and you don't be a tyrant, right, Armando? You don't be a tyrant. You be the best possible decision is the one that's going to help. And you're the charter franchise for a reason. So
Phil, I think with their deal with the casino, you realize what you can do. And I just thought about this is, and I know there's the friends of the park who want to keep a lot of the lakefront for the people of Chicago. Why not have the casino, allow them to build a casino right there on the lake, adjacent to or extremely close to the ball or the stadium? Like, so now you're killing two birds. So now Bet Rivers, who the Bears have partnered with, is owned by Churchill Downs, allow them to have the casino right there on the lake. What better place? And now or in the stadium, adjacent part of the stadium.
That's the whole plan for Arlington Heights. Yep. They want to have a whole, like here village. In New England, a whole village. So your wife could go there. So Joseph Phillips and his wife and his kids could go, and Joe wants to go with Phil and Shawn and Ivan to the game. Boom. They go to the game. Wifey goes shopping. Wifey's at the mall. Wifey's at Chili's or whatever the heck restaurant there, and it becomes a whole experience. That's what New England is. When you come out here, when the Bears play the Patriots, you come out here and I'll show you, and you're like, holy cow, it's like Oz. Like you're driving up and it's just all these trees in New England, and all of a sudden you see this freaking Emerald City. It's like all of a sudden pops up right in the middle of nowhere, full of activities, events. They got road courses, and anything you could think of is an event. So the whole day becomes an experience, and that's what they're trying to do. Now, if you own that land, if the Chicago Bears and these billionaires understand, if I now own this, we'll stay here. We're going to build a casino on the lake, just like you're saying. That's exactly what's going down. We're going to build, the whole thing, the whole experience down there. We're going to save, obviously, the aquarium and the park.
Museum campus, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to save that stuff. But on this side, it's going to be built up to be house Final Fours, Big Ten championships, all these things that you can't do right now because of the Park District has 8 high school games going on, destroying the field. The Bears haven't put field turf down. Don't understand it. The reality is this has to change, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's either going to be negotiated to where they own Soldier Field, like Jerry Jones owns Dallas Stadium.
Oh no,
yeah, he owns that.
Yeah, AT&T Stadium. Yeah.
AT&T Stadium, or we're leaving, so we own it, because right now we're the 7th most valuable franchise in all of sports. Well, if we own our own stadium, we become the number 1 most valuable, and that should be anybody's goal. Anybody. So I can't hate on the Bears for wanting to do this, because it's natural, especially with the old lady getting up in age like that. It makes too much sense. So how they come about this, all of us are going to be obviously on the outside looking in as this big, crooked political negotiation takes place. So the Bears, we set up the chessboard. The Bears have put out their first pawn. We put the bid. They did this all for optics. You don't say we're putting in a bid if you know you ain't going to win it. The very 3 days, 4 days later? Oh, by the way, Chicago Bears have teamed up with this casino. That's not coincidence. That's
no, not at all.
Lightfoot, all those politicians. This is what's going down. It's business 101. They're setting the course, and it's on the highest levels, because it's $1 billion business that it just, by the way, everybody forgets this. They just signed these TV deals and are about to sign an even bigger streaming deal because DirecTV and the Sunday Ticket, that's about to end in 2022. So how is that going to play out? Well, Amazon Prime or ESPN Plus owns negotiating NFL Sunday Ticket. You want your ticket to the Bears and you live in Florida, Miami? How many of people have retired down to Florida from Chicago? Millions, right? Well, they want to see their Bears. They're going to buy the NFL Sunday Ticket to watch them. It's always been about money. The NFL always comes out on top. And that's why every other USFL, think of every league. They've all failed. They all failed. They can't compete because they have it lockstep. They don't have the video game lockstep. There is no honor among thieves. I agree. And the NFL, for as much as I love the NFL, it's about the sauce. It's the game that I love the most. The NFL, in and above itself, they'll come after, me, the lowest man on the totem pole, if I'm making 10 cents off of their brand. Yeah. That's how scummy it is. But I still love it. They got us, just like the Bears have us. The Bears have us too. They keep bringing us back in. They keep bringing us back in now. Yeah.
Hey, Phil, great stuff, buddy.
I love you, man.
Love you too, brother. Hey,
hot today. I gotta meet this guy, Joseph Phillips.
Dude, I'm telling you, he was on fire, man. He
was on fire
yesterday. We were talking about
a little bit of you guys talking yesterday. That's why it rang true. What's up, Joe? I have to bring him on our show, keeping it 100.
Oh, he'll keep it 100. Yeah, definitely. He, his whole take on Nassib and coming out and that whole deal was we like to say it was spicy. Definitely a spicy segment. But hey, great stuff, man. I appreciate you every week, dude. Let everyone know where they can find you. Evan, if you don't mind putting that up for us.
At Phil _Atoshin on Instagram, and then the Tape Never Lies patron membership right there. www.thetapeneverlies.com. This Sunday, my father, I, and Bearlissimo will be breaking down new nose tackle Mike Cannell and breaking him down. What do the Bears get? Is Eddie Goldman going to be there? It is going to be a lot of fun. It always is. We use the tape to tell the story and nothing else. We talk about the game and we break it down truthfully through those eyes. That's why I was the guy telling you about Matt Nagy. I was the guy telling you about Charles Leno. What's up, Joseph? And I'm also the guy telling you right now, David Montgomery is an elite running back, and he is going to make some noise this year. I'm so excited about this football team. Hopefully you go over, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out every week. I put up our show here together with my guys, Ivan, Shawn, and in the Full House backfield with Kenneth as well. I love you guys.
Hey, man, we'll talk soon, man. Thanks a lot. Have a good weekend. Any big plans out there in Connecticut?
I'm going out on a triple date tonight. We're gonna go.
Does your wife know?
Yeah, yeah. She planned it, so I'm excited about that. Then this weekend, we got a big day off. I would be stupid if I didn't plug this. Tomorrow, we're doing a crossover show with Greg Braggs. Braggs in the stands. He's going to be live at a restaurant, Catch 22 in Indiana, and we're going to be broadcasting live with him in the bar, even in the rain. I don't know what's going down with Jim McMahon, former Chicago Bear Jim McMahon will be out there. So we'll be going live, talking hopefully with Jim McMahon tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock Central. 1 o'clock Central time.
Oh man, I'll have to check it out on your platform.
Early show then, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be early.
So if it's 1
You
o'clock
guys-
Central, it's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
be there. It's live in Maryville, Indiana. Look at this guy, Alex Acevedo, our boy. He'll be out there live himself as well, setting it up. Alex has a lot of talent. This guy, he's our swag man, and he'll be out there helping Greg set it up and promoting. He'll be selling some TTNL. If you're a big TTNL fan, go out there, or Greg's in the stands. Obviously, Shawn and Maya in the morning. They're our family here, so we always shout you guys out on our show, and always keep it real cozy. That's how I like it, nice and cozy.
So hey, great stuff. I would love to go tomorrow, but I'll be drinking tomorrow. White Sox
There
game,
you
1
go.
o'clock. With my,
Good
I'll be
for
wearing
you.
this tomorrow. I'll be wearing this tomorrow. This is the new.
Yeah, I see the battle, the South Side versus Wrigleyville. I
Yeah,
gotta
but-
keep it 100. The South Side shirt.
It's not Wrigleyville.
The South Side shirt has the upper hand, in my opinion. The way it looks.
Dude, they sold out in hours. They sold out from uniforms, T-shirts. They sold out in hours, and they had it. The uniforms aren't going to be available till August again. The replicas and the authentics,
crazy.
and T-shirts are easy to make, so they're selling tons and tons of T-shirts and hats. But they sold out within hours, dude. That's how crazy this is.
The Cubs has just beat the living shit out of their jersey because I'm just it's so north side versus south side, man. That's what we want.
It should have been.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it should have been. Hey,
It
but thanks,
should have
buddy.
done it.
Well, we will talk next week, Papa. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you then. All right.
All right, my brother. Have a good
All right.
one.
Thanks.
God bless.